भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
अहम महेंद्रो नित्ति रचेत। अहम
अहं महेन्द्रो निरति प्रचेत।
सोमो अग्निर ईश पवनो रिंचि।
सोमोऽग्निर् ईश परमो
विचिति
विरिञ्चि।
आदित्य विश्वे वसवो तत्साध्या।
आदित्य विश्वे वशवोता साध्य।
मरुद्गण रुद्रगण असितः।
मरुद्गण रुद्रगण
सिद्धितः
सिद्धितः।
अन्य च ये विश्वा सृजो मारेश।
अन्ये च ये विश्वसृजो मरेषा।
ऋग्वाद्यो स्पष्ट रजस्तमक्षः।
ऋग्वद्यो स्पर्त रजस्तमस्क्षः।
यस्ये हितं न विदु पृष्ठ माया।
यस्ये हितं न विदुस्पर्शं मायः।
सत्त्वप्रधान अपि किं ततो अन्ये।
सत्त्वप्रधान अपि किं ततो अन्ये। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम टू ऑल। हरे कृष्ण। I, Yamaraj, Indra, the king of heaven, Nirti, Varuna, Chandra, the moon god, Agni, Lord Shiva, Pavana, Lord Brahma, Surya, the sun god, Viswasu, the eighth Vasu, the Sadhyas, the Marutas, the Rudras, Siddhas, and Marichi and other great rishis engaged in maintaining the departmental affair of universe, as well as the best of the demigods headed by Vrihaspati and the great sages headed by Vrugu, and all certainly freed from the influence of two base material modes of nature, namely passion and ignorance. Nevertheless, although we are in the mode of goodness, we cannot understand the activities of Supreme Personality of Godhead. What then is to be said of others who, under illusion, merely speculate to know God? Men and other living entities within this cosmic manifestation are controlled by the three modes of material nature. For the living entities controlled by the base quality of nature, passion and ignorance, there is no possibility of understanding God. Even those in the mode of goodness, like the many demigods and great rishis describe these verses, cannot understand the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, one who is situated in devotional service of the Lord is transcendental to all material qualities. Therefore, the Lord personally says that no one can understand him. Bhaktas who are transcendental to all material qualities, Bhaktyamam Abhijanati, Bhagavad Gita 18.55, as Bhismadeva to Maharaj Yudhishthira in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.16, Nahi Yasya Karichit Rajan Pumam Veda Vidishitam Yad Vijnanasya Yukta Muhyanti Kavayopihi. O king, no one can know the plan of the Lord Sri Krishna. Even though great philosopher inquire exhaustively they are bewildered. No one, therefore, cannot understand God by speculative knowledge. Indeed, by speculation, one will be bewildered. Muhyanti. This is also confirmed by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita. Manush 7.3. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatata siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin ma veti tattvataha. Among many thousands of men, one may endeavor among many thousands of men, one may endeavor for perfection, and even among the siddhas, those who have already become perfect, only one who adopt the process of bhakti, devotional service, can understand Sri Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Please go ahead, Prabhu. Go ahead and explain.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So here in this verse, Yamaraj is explaining this insight to Yamadutas about the reality of Supreme Lord. That how that Supreme Lord who is Sarva Karanam Karanam, and the Supreme Lord who is not able to understand by even demigods, great demigods. Name Bidu Suragana, there is a verse. Name Bidu Suragana, something I could not remember the next one. So even great demigods, the great rishis, they are not able to understand. And so what to speak of people who are in a mode of passion and ignorance? In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is also in first canto, it has been mentioned by Shuta Goswami that those people who are in the age of Kali, they are in mood of passion and ignorance. Rajastama bhava. Rajastama bhava is the entire Kali Yuga in this mode. So, so it is very difficult to understand the Supreme Lord. And that's how Yamaduta is explaining that he himself, the king of Indra, the rishis, Lord Shiva, the demigods, so Bhrugu, all these great rishis, they are at least free from this mode of passion and ignorance. And in Sattva-guna, even if there are chances of getting into coming down to passion and ignorance, although in Bhagavad Gita it has been explained that urdhang gachanti sattvasa adho madhya tishtati rajasa adhanna guna vitrusna adho gathanti tamasa. So those who are in mode of goodness, they go to higher planetary system, and middle planetary system, those who are in Rajaguna, and in Tamaguna, those who are in ignorance, they goes towards downwards. But bhakti is the only method by which one can get out of all this urdham, adham or madhyam, and one can get out of this entire Chauda Bhuvan, 13 planetary system, through this bhakti. Here is been explained by Srila Prabhupada that only bhakti, which is also been explained in Kapila Deva to Mother Devahuti, many instances in Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktyamam Abhijanati, Bhagavad Gita. So the concluding uh, uh, lesson from this verse is that Bahunam Janmanamante, among many birth, thousands, millions of birth, it is which is unachievable things that one has achieved is human birth. And among many human beings, one has got the association of devotees or somehow or other understand that that devotional service is the highest benefit in human life, and among that getting devotional association and getting association of Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam reading and practicing this bhakti, that is the most beneficial, which is even our great acharyas they have mentioned uh, in our Vaishnava song. This is real dhana, like Narottam Das Thakur has mentioned, adhane jatana kari dhana teyagenu. So this bhakti is the real dhana, and other thing which is perishable, that is adhana. So that's how here Prabhupada is explaining that somehow or other that even if many perfected yogis, there are few only who adopt this process of bhakti and devotional service. They only can understand Gita. In uh, in Chaitanya Charitamrita also it has been mentioned that to understand Krishna, there is other than bhakti, there is nothing could one could able to even a glimpse one can able to understand. So bhakti is the essence in this verse. Swayam Yamaraj, who is explaining that uh, he's very honest, I would say, and Yamadutas to he's explaining that other than bhaktis, there is nothing in this material world which could make oneself to realize God. It will only someone speculate. Someone can speculate, maybe like this, Prabhupada says, maybe like that, God may be like this. So, but by bhakti process, one can understand how Krishna is. Brahma explains in Brahma Saita Shyama Tribhanga Lalita Niyata Prakasam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhaja. So the exact swarupa that one will be able to realize Lord's rupa, Lord's form, Lord's everything will be revealed only through bhakti, and that Prabhupada has been stressed upon Sravanam. One will be hearing about Lord. Prabhupada says, what you can, if you want to see God, you see through God through your ears, not by eyes. So to see God, we have to utilize the ear, sincerely hearing about the philosophy and the pastimes of God through authorized bona fide Vaishnavas and sadhus. So it will be revealed to the living entity who is under illusion since time immemorial. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. I would like to request anybody like to throw some more light. This is as per my understanding. I could explain.
Anybody else like to explain the verse? So here Yamaraja is speaking to Yamadutas who had asked him questions, and he's telling them about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and how people in creation are related to the Lord. And so here it says that all of the people, uh, the King of Heaven, Varuna, Chandra, Lord Shiva, all situated in the mode of goodness. They are not mixed with any of the two base modes. Nevertheless, there, he says we cannot comprehend the activities of the Supreme Lord. What then is to be said of others who are under the mode of illusion? I think you said that correctly, that only by bhakti or devotion service that one can even That is the only way, by surrendering to a Lord. Otherwise, if you go by the theoretical process, one can only get theoretical knowledge, and one would not go towards understanding of uh, understanding one's true relationship to the Lord. And this is again in Prabhupada in his purport, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.16. No one can know the plan of the Lord, and great philosophers inquire exhaustively, and they are bewildered. So speculation, one will be bewildered, Muyanti. So, and the Lord Himself confirms this in the Bhagavad Gita that out of so many lakhs and lakhs of people who endeavor on this path of first Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and then Bhakti Yoga, that only a few make it through and be situated on the true path of Bhakti. But that doesn't mean that if you feel that the process is so difficult or exhaustive that we will never reach there, one should sincerely endeavor. And the Lord also says in Bhagavad Gita, the devotee should try with sincere attempts, and He carries what we lack. And as we, for anything and everything, rely solely upon the Lord to carry all that we lack, which is a lot, then we will be truly be successful on the path of devotion. Hare Krishna. Somebody else like to add to that, please? We go on to the next verse. 6.3.16. Yambai na gobir manasa
Yambai na agavir
Manas
Surviva.
Siddhagira vasu brito vishakshate
Tadde
Hridayena Vasu Druto Vichakshate
atmanam antarhridi santam atmanam.
Atmanam Antarhridi Santam Atmanam
Chakshur yatai vakrityas tata param.
Chakshur Yataiva Kritasya Tataparam.
So somebody like to read the verse, please?
I read, Prabhu.
Please, Prabhu.
I read, then I think commentary you may give on there, Prabhu. Translation and purport by Sri Prabhupada teacher. Translation. As the different limbs of the body cannot see the eyes, the living entities cannot see the Supreme Lord, who is situated in the Supreme. Super soul in every heart, not by senses, by the mind, by the life, life air, by thoughts within the heart, or by the vibration of the words, can the living entities ascertain the real situation of the Supreme Lord. Purport. Although different parts of the body do not have the power to see the eyes direct the movement of bodies with different parts. The legs move forward because the eyes see what is in front of them, and the hand touches because the eyes are touchable entities. Similarly, every living being acts according to the direction of Supreme Soul, who is situated within the heart. As the Lord Himself confirms in Bhagavad Gita 5.15, Sarvasya Chaham Aharde Sarviso Mata Smriti Jnana Apoham Acha. I am sitting in everybody's heart and giving direction for the remembrance, knowledge, and the forgetfulness. Elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita, it is stated, Ishvara Sarv Bhutanam Hridaya Des Arjuna. The Supreme Lord is the Supreme Soul, is situated within the heart. The living entity cannot do anything without the sanctions of the Supreme Soul. The Supreme Soul is acting as every moment, but the living entity cannot understand the form and the activities of the soul by manipulating his senses. The example of the eyes and the body limbs is very appropriate. If the limbs could see, they could walk forward without the help of the eyes. But that is impossible. Although one cannot see the super soul, the one's heart, so sensual activity, the direction is necessary. Hare Krishna Bhajan number. I think probably what could I understand in these verses that they explain the importance of super soul. As is the eyes, is the, to see everything according to that sense. The other part of our bodies act. If the eyes can't see, the legs cannot go forward and all that. Similarly, the part of our body cannot also be working. Similarly, in fact, through this statement, they are focusing on the importance of the super soul. The house super soul was sitting inside the heart area, but from there is controlling everything, every part of it. And because his direction, because of his the permission, nothing can move. So people say that as we without eyes we cannot see anything. Similarly, without super source position, nobody can see him. But at the same time, he functions everything, controls every activity of life. So if, although one cannot see the super pole in one's heart through sensual activities, his direction is necessary. So sitting in the heart, it gives the direction, and according to that, each part of our body works, and we work on that. This is my understanding, Prabhuji. You can please kindly put further on this. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, the Supreme Lord as a super soul is situated within the heart. So, today we are the embodied soul. So the soul sitting within the body. That itself is a journey for us in terms of understanding that we are not the body, we are the soul. And multiple times, the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita that only the people of steady mind, people who are jnanis, people who are self-realized. Multiple verses through Bhagavad Gita, it says, these are people who see things as they are. Tattva-darshina. So that is, then if we do not know that we are not the body but the soul, then how would we realize that the super soul, the Lord, is sitting next to us and watching each of our actions? And here Prabhupada in the purport is talking of different parts of the body do not have the power to see the eyes, and eyes direct the movements. So the karmendriya and jnanendriya are different, and those that give us the knowledge to act. So then the legs move. So similarly, the living being acts according to the direction of the super soul. We only have within the subconscious mind the desire, but then the desire has to be sanctioned by the super soul, and only then we get to act. And this is being explained by Prabhupada in his purpose, that the living entity cannot do anything without the sanction of the super soul. And the super soul is acting at every moment. And we cannot understand the form and activities of the super soul. We being in Maya, we think that we are the doer and we are causing these actions. Although one cannot see the super soul in one's heart, this direction is necessary. Very good. Would anybody else like to explain this? Okay, so
But one thing I like to
tell me,
understand, as you were reading in this text, he without eyes seeing nobody can walk forward. But how this statement is correct? Because those who do not have eye, even then they walk.
well, they have the other senses that act for them in terms of what is needed to move forward. For sure that a blind person uses a stick and he is able to perceive certain things. He uses the ears to like perceive sound. He uses a stick to like hit the ground. That sound perception back tells him that there is something in front or not something in front. So, what is important is which are the senses that give us um the knowledge, and which are the senses that allow us to act. So that is what is the difference. And here, beyond that, is required the sanction of the Lord in form of super soul for us to even do any of these things.
Quite possible. I thought
The way we are in this body, we do not separate these things. We just walk, and we do not think like, oh, the eye in my body is seeing, and then the leg in my body is walking towards what I see. For us, it's just a natural reaction, and we think that all of this is one, and it is me and myself. We do not differentiate the eye, the leg from the body and us. Then it becomes that we do not differentiate. We think that we are the body rather than the soul, which is what is us in the deluded form. And we then do not differentiate each of these actions.
quite careful. Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So we read one more verse and then we can stop. 6.3.17. Tasyatma mantrasya harer adishtu.
Bhutanam Vishnu Sure Punjitani.
We have to read
6.3. We have to read 17.
17, no? 17. Tasyatma tantrasya harer adishtu.
Tasya Atma Tantre Harir Adishyu.
Parasya mayadipater mahatmanah.
Parasya Mahayadhipater Mahatmanah
Prayena duta ihyavai manoharas.
Prayana
Prayana Dutanam
Ihi
Ihavai
Manoharas.
Manoharas
Charanti tantrupa gunasvabhavaha.
Charanti Tatrupaha Punha Savasya.
Somebody like to read, please? Okay. I'll read. Translation of Prabhupada by Sivan P. Swami Prabhupada.
Okay.
Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is self-sufficient and fully independent. He is the master of everyone and everything, including the illusory energy. He has his form, qualities, and features. And similarly, his order carriers, the Vaishnavas, who are very beautiful, possess bodily features, transcendental qualities, and a transcendental nature almost like his. They always wander within this world with full independence. Purport. Yamaraja was describing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Controller. But the order carriers of Yamaraja were very eager to know about the Vishnu Dutas, who had defeated them in their encounter with Ajamila. Yamaraj therefore stated that the Vishnu Dutas resemble the Supreme Personality of Godhead in their bodily features, transcendental qualities, and nature. In other words, the Vishnu Dutas or Vaishnavas are almost as qualified as the Supreme Lord. Yamaraj informed the Yamadutas that the Vishnu Dutas are no less powerful than Lord Vishnu. Since Vishnu is above Yamaraja, the Vishnu Dutas are above the Yamadutas. Persons protected by the Vishnu Dutas therefore cannot be touched by the Yamadutas. Hare Krishna. So, Yamaraj here is explaining to the Yamadutas as to what is the relationship between Vishnu Dutas and the Lord Vishnu, and relationship between them and himself, and which is the reason why the Vishnu Dutas are powerful and the Yamadutas were not able to win the argument with them over the case of Ajamil. So here in this verse, it's the Supreme Personality of Godhead is self-sufficient and fully independent, and he is the master of everyone and everything, including the illusory mind. This we have read in the Bhagavad Gita. He has his form, qualities, and features because he is a person. And his order carriers of Vaishnavas or Vishnu Dutas are very beautiful and possess bodily features and transcendental qualities almost like this. And this is what Yamadutas were eager to understand as to who these people are, why they resembled, why were they looking the way they looked, and what was their relationship to the Lord. And this is explained by Yamaraj quite well in this verse. Hare Krishna. Would somebody like to add to that?
The only thing, Prabhuji, the important thing I'm reading here is, in other words, Vishnu Duta or Vaishnavas are almost qualified. That means Vishnu Duta and the Vaishnavas are being equated here. This is very important, significant point here.
Yes, I mean, multiple times Prabhuji has told us about, for example, like Prabhupada and how he is transcendental and he is not of this world. So he has come here to deliver us and guide more people back home, back to Godhead. So true Vaishnavas like that are, I mean, they are transcendental to this world. Like here it says the Vishnu Dutas they travel all over the creation. So they are not restricted that they are only in Vaikuntha planets and they do not come to the material world. In this case, they had to because they had to save Ajamil, who is a devotee of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So we'll stop for today and we'll resume again tomorrow with verse number 18.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.